What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, Triado Custom Engraving. My name is Max, and I teach about rotary tool engraving, specifically stainless steel cup engraving. In this video, I'm going to teach you about how to take image like this and engrave it onto this 36 ounce water bottle. If you want to know how I got this image, check out my other video that will link into description below. Before we start engraving, I want to go over some personal protective equipment that you might want to wear. In my case, I like to wear my safety glasses, alright, and also my hearing protection. Gloves are optional. I just like to keep dust and everything off my hands, and you can easily just take these off and clean them out if need be. Cool. Without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright guys, so my first step of engraving an image is resizing it to whatever you're engraving, in this case this bottle. So once you have your right size, you're ready to cut this out. So I already cut this, but use your scissors and cut out as much paper as possible around it. And then we're going to use a carbon paper to basically trace the design onto the bottle itself. So when you use this, make sure you use the dark side, otherwise you're going to just trace the design onto the back of the paper itself. So make sure you use the right side to transfer this over. To keep the design on there, I use masking tape. You can use any other tape, but I prefer the masking tape because it's easier to take off. For tracing the design, I use mechanical pencil. The reason for it is because I don't want to keep sharpening regular pencil, and I don't like to use pen for tracing. And if you run out of lead, you can easily just get a replacement and just keep going. Alright, so next step is going to be cutting out the tracing paper, your carbon paper, to the size of your design. Then you're going to take your paper and your tape and tape the design onto the bottle itself. Next thing is going to be tracing the cup. So while using the pencil, you want to use about moderate pressure to make sure that carbon paper sticks onto the cup itself. All right, last stretch. Awesome. So once you trace your whole design, basically you just look at it. That's why I like using pencil. It reflects, you know, you see if any spots that you miss, because once you take off your paper, then you will not be able to realign it if you did miss something. So best practice is look and make sure you did not miss anything, and looks like I'm good to go. So I did not mention before I started this, but using a pillow as your hand support, I think is crucial, because making those lines nice and straight is kind of important. You know, tracing anything is, you know, important with straight lines. So that's my quick tip. And also another tip will be why I like using pencil is because you can easily erase. Let's say if it's like a design you want to reuse again, and instead of printing it over and over again, you can erase your pencil marks and reuse that same design on a next cup or bottle, whatever you want to use it on. Alright, so next step is taking this design off and revealing the tracing. Alright, moment of truth, guys. Alright, so when you start seeing the design on the cup, you know, it's already a good indication that you did it correctly. This is what I'm talking about. If you put the tracing paper, your carbon paper, the other way around, you'll basically trace onto the back of the paper over here, and you will basically have to redo this whole thing over again, and please make sure you do that before you attempt doing this. So All right, so once we are done with this tracing process, we're gonna start engraving. For my engraving bits, I'm gonna use tungsten carbide. This is a little set of fox burrs. If you would like me to make a video or review these burrs, let me know in the comments. As far as the size that I'm going to be using, but this size right here, it's not too big and not too small. And for engraving, I'm going to be using my Foredom K1060 micromotor. All right. Whenever you're engraving something, you want to brush off, because most of the dust and particles will be on the design. Just use a brush. This way you're not erasing the design. The way I like to do this is do my outline first. You'll be able to see where your design is, just in case you're erased it for whatever reason. Got a little bit on this side, on this side, and as you're moving your cup around, you might erase some of the things. So I try to get all the outer things done first before I do anything inside. And then I usually work my way up, so from bottom up. This way I can rest my hand and not erase the design as I go. Now for a beginner, I would recommend going with rotation. Every tool rotates certain direction, so you will feel when you go against the rotation. So in this case, if I go this way, it's going to be a lot easier to go rather than going against the rotation. So like this. It behaves a little bit different when you go against the rotation. Alright guys, so once you're mostly done with the cup, did most of the outline, and all you have left is fine detail. For, in my case, is going to be the face. You want to get that face, done right. So what you want to do is grab yourself a fine detail burr. So start all the way small, or you can start a little bit bigger, up to you. But I would definitely recommend grabbing a smaller size burr for fine detail work. So let's get that done real quick, and we'll be on to our next step. Alright guys, so now that you have the outline ready to go, you just need to start shading everything in. And the way I like to shade is go one way, one direction, and basically makes everything uniform and nice and neat. Alright guys, the hardest part is over. So what I basically want to do is use the same technique, going horizontal and shade in all the parts that need to be shaded in. My recommendations for this, if you forget or if you don't know which parts to shade in, or if you don't accidentally shade in the wrong part, just reference your image right here and just keep looking at it. Or you can use any paint markers. Just mark all the areas that need to be shaded in. This way you don't miss them. Alright guys, well this is it. Final product right here. It took me like 4.5 hours for the whole project. Yeah, this is it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Well, alright guys, well thanks for watching. I think this came out pretty awesome, and I'm pretty damn tired. 4.5 hours later, and here it is, all hand engraved, and yeah, one of a kind, guys. Hey, let me know what you think of this video, and if you want to see more like it, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.